Holla ballers and a bro fist to you all! Ooh! Oh my god! What's this? What is it? It's weird. It's like an overlay. Oh my god! Change, fear, run for your lives. All this kind of stuff. Oh my god! Yeah! I know, right? I know. It's weird, right? Nothing's set in stone. I'm trying it out. I quite like it, actually. I quite like it. It's simple, effective. It does what I want it to do. It adds a little bit of a style to the daily because, quite frankly, I hate my background. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I detest it so much. But I can't really stick posters and stuff up behind me because there's like a door and there's like an air conditioning unit and stuff and a TV, and it's hard to do. I would probably have to green screen it, which means I need to get a large green screen. Whatever. For those of you watching this on the YouTubes, firstly, hello, you wonderful, wonderful people. Almost 40,000 potentially of you. That's awesome. And not watching this live because you turned up at 5 p.m. I'm really sorry, I am. But the daily has changed. I did mention it on Drama Friday last week. Daily has changed. It is now at 4 p.m. GMT. That's London time, yo. And you can easily Google it to find out what time it is if you wish to tune in live with, I can't do this, with these people. These people right here, all these wonderful people. And you could do that. Just Google it. It's at 4 p.m. And there's a reason for that. Because I don't know if anybody knows this. Probably not. I would be surprised if you did. But it is, in fact, officially 1 year since I started doing this full time. I've made it through the first year. First year of doing something like this is like the hardest, right? That's when you're going to fail. It's not a year since I started like Preach Gaming. That's like a year and a half now. But when I started, of course, I was working another mindless job. Well, not mindless, actually. A very difficult job that I didn't like. As most of us do at some point, right? We get a job we don't like, but it has money. Money's good, I guess, so we'll do some shit job. And I advanced very quickly. Surprisingly, as much as I talk about games, video games, I'm not an idiot, really. So I advanced very quickly in the field of business sales. Ooh, right? People think I'm a very convincing guy up close and personal. One thing I'm going to show, I'm going to zoom in on myself. I think that's better. I think that's better. So I did very well at that. I did. I was very, very good. I was earning a lot of money doing that. It was shit. I hated it. I was doing it involving vehicles, right? I would spend all day talking about CO2 emissions to people who obviously don't care. That was my job. Travel the country. All day, every day. I would be on the road all day, every day. I would come home on a Friday and leave again on like a Sunday or a Monday and talk about like CO2 emissions. That's what I did. And then come home and play WoW like a total nerd and raid my ass off, and I hated it. I fucking hated it. But yeah, it paid money, all that kind of stuff, and it was it was cool. It was cool. I was in line to go ahead and run the whole country's top salespeople. I had a team of 15 people. At 26. At 26, I had a team of 15 people under my wing, which was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy, but I've always been able to do stuff like that, but it wasn't what I loved, right? And sometimes you got to bite the bullet and do something like that. So I was like, oh my god, this month, last year, I made exactly enough money by about $30 to pay all my bills. I had nothing to spend on anything else. I couldn't go out. I couldn't buy a luxury. I couldn't get like cheap takeaway. I couldn't do anything like that. I can't buy a can of Monster. I had just enough to pay all the bills. I quit my job that day. Seriously, I walked out of the house. I had a walk before doing it. I was looking at my phone, my BlackBerry expensive business phone, and I'm walking down the street and I'm thinking, he's not going to suspect what I'm about to do, my boss. I was directly responsible to the director of the company. And I'm looking at my phone and I'm like, fuck it, I don't want to do this anymore. So I phoned him, I was like, hey. He's like, what? I said, I'm handing you my resignation. And he was like, oh my god, who are you going to? Because the only logical explanation in this wonderful field was to be going to a different company. That was it. There was no possibility I was doing anything else. And I had a good friendship with my director. He was alright. He was a nice guy. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And he's like, well, what are you doing then? So I'm going to make videos for the internet about video games. And he had no idea I liked video games at all. No clue. So he thought I was joking. He looked at me and he's like, what? Are you kidding me on the phone? He's like, don't lie to me. I was like, no, that's what I'm going to do. And I was like, if you can check on YouTube, I've got a channel and things like that. He's like, you've got a channel on YouTube? You never told me that. I was like, yeah. And he's like, I don't believe you. There's no way that works as a job. There's no way it works. Because he's old school, right? This guy's like 50, 60 years old. He's old school. And he just thought I was lying. And instantly, this is what happened. He genuinely thought I was lying to him. And I was going to a competitor, which is a big no-no. The next day, and we've been friends for about 4 years. The next day, a fucking guy turned up with another guy, took my car, my company car. I had a big, nice big company car. Took my car, took my laptop, took my... They were at the fucking door the next day to take all my stuff off me. So I had no possible way of retaining that information or any of the privileges that came with my old job. He was like, oh, I wanted to hand in 4 weeks notice. He said, no, you stop now. You no longer work for this company. That's it. You're fucking out. You are gone. If you're doing this, you are out. You are gone. We don't want anything to do with you. It was really fucking harsh. He unfriended me on Facebook. Can you imagine? That would have been really scary. And on the web show, which we had a glorious web show this week. It was fucking really good. And on the web show, somebody said, do you ever regret doing that? No! Not in the least. I love what I do. It fucking works. But we're growing, and we're growing quick. It's all good thumbs up. It's all fucking 2's thumbs up, and it's fucking awesome. So there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about. First of all, I'm going to have a baby in September, right? Most of you know that. Most of you know that. So the next 3 months or so for me are going to be crazy. Going to be absolutely crazy because no doubt I won't be able to do what I do now, which is like 12 or 18 hours sat in this chair, making videos, writing, doing all that kind of stuff. So I've modified my day. My day is really full, but I've modified it. So the daily is now at 4 o'clock. Because the daily, I love doing it. It's a great way for me to sort of end the day. The daily is now at 4 o'clock. I now work Saturday and Sunday, which is fine. It's only going to be for the next 3 months. So we're working 7 days a week for the next 3 months. Saturday and Sunday, I make all my videos. And then Monday to Friday, I make big videos and work on Way of the Warrior 2 up until about 3, when I sort my dog out. And then I do the daily. And then I'm going to be streaming every weekday. I'm going to be streaming every weekday immediately after the daily for at least 2 hours. A minimum of 2 hours because there are certain things I can't give up, like exercise. Right? Like exercise. I sit in this chair so much that I need to get out sometimes and do something. So I will still keep my gym days, which are going to be Wednesday, Thursday, which is when Ghost streams. Hey! Works. So I'll be streaming up until Ghost streams and he'll take over. And it works really well. The reason for doing this and not just making more YouTube videos is I don't want to flood my channel. My channel's kind of messed up right now. I'm slowly getting to grips with it. And by messed up, there's a load of people who just want guides. A load of people who just want Drama Friday. A load of people who just want the daily to keep up to date with WoW. And many, many more people who come for the top 5 videos. And the big videos, okay? The amount of people who join just to watch those videos is ridiculous right now. We're getting like 1,000 every couple of weeks or a week or so who are just there for that video. That's all they care about. That's what they want. They just want that video. And I'm fine with that. They're the best things that I make. I love making them. In fact, the vanilla one for this week, the vanilla PvP video, was great fun. It was great fun. I've also included in that video footage of me as a total noob clicking. Some of you have seen the video. Me in vanilla PvPing as a priest and a rogue, clicking, chasing people. Following the steps, right? We've got the steps for making a vanilla PvP video. Disturbed, terrible play, ganking someone randomly. Boom! The 3 things. I won't burn out. I'm fine for 3 months. I think that's good. So one thing I want to bring up is a lot of people are going to be expecting me to stream constantly World of Warcraft. No. I will sometimes be streaming World of Warcraft, but mostly it's actually going to be variety gaming, which is what I prefer. I need aspects of other gaming in my life, right? Big people, I've got to talk about some WoW stuff shortly. Don't worry about that. I'm going to talk about some WoW stuff shortly. But a lot of people, when they get a subscription-based game like WoW, just believe that's the only game you should be playing. I pay every month for it. That's the only game I should play. I play WoW a lot, right? I play it a lot in order to get footage, to play, to enjoy, to still enjoy the game, which I do. So the streams that I will do afterwards are going to be all kinds of different games. Like, so I'm going to start with a game that I've had on my PC for God knows how long and never played it, which is Warhammer. I've never played it. It's on my PC. Never played it. I watched Ghost play it, but I've never played it, so I'm going to play it. So we're going to be doing things like that. Variety gaming is what I'm going to be streaming because, quite frankly, that's what I want to play. Sometimes it'll be WoW, sometimes it'll be the games. So we're going to be playing all kinds of stuff. On top of that, we have grown to a size where we can start giving back. Now, I wanted to share with you something that was a great thing on this sort of momentous day for me. It's only a momentous day for me personally, as I've survived a year doing this, still here, and doing okay, doing all right. And that was that we got affiliated with the Game Fan Shop. Now, I've mentioned this before, and the people in the live stream are clearly aware of it. But a lot of people on YouTube don't know about it because it was in its testing phase. We tried something which I thought was interesting, which was the coupon idea. As I did no dailies last week to do all my writing, we put a coupon up. Basically, we just gave away whatever we make on it. There you go. Go and have fun with it. This is how much we saved our community in 1 week. $700 in a week. We saved our community, you guys. It's not about the individual percentages that we saved each person, but we literally saved $700 for the people who watch our channel in a week. And that's only people generally who came from the live stream who got to notice that. But when I looked at those numbers this morning, I was baffled. I just couldn't fucking believe it. And by the way, I'm not censoring that because it has like millions and millions of dollars in there. I'm censoring that because people see any number and go crazy with it, right? But in a week, we saved you guys $700. And that's what it's about. It's the overall return we can give back. And we are now in a position to be able to do that. I've talked about getting hardware deals and stuff like that. And we work on that. But the fact that we can do that any time is just give back something like that in a week, $700. I think that's crazy. I think that's crazy money that we can save for you guys in a week's time. It's just like, oh, okay, we're going to throw a coupon up. And that's what happens. Magnifique. So that's generally the changes. So the dailies at 4. I'm going to be streaming afterwards. And all the videos and stuff will still maintain. You've got a lovely combustion video coming up. I promised that like a week and a half ago. The combustion video is coming up this evening. And Wednesday, I'm thinking Wednesday. We had a meeting with Ghost last night. Me and Ghost in a meeting. You can kind of imagine what that's like. But Ghosty did manage to get a few hours spare last night where we sat in here. My board is now full of the videos that me and Ghost are going to make. Okay? Of the videos that we're going to make. Because Ghosty's getting into making his own video. So I strongly encourage you to give him a little push. Give him a little push to get it done. There was no pizza. There was a monster. All kinds of things that Ghosty came up with as well. We're going to be working on that as well. So give him a push. We did end up watching The Raid. He hadn't seen it before, so we watched The Raid, which is pretty cool, that we did at the end. But the board is now covered with big videos that we're going to make, which is going to be the PVG series, which I think will become the cornerstone of our channel. Don't worry, the guides aren't going away, at least until the next expansion. The guides are not going anywhere. You're going to have big guides coming up. You voted for it on Facebook. We're going to have loads of guides coming out over the next week or so. Everything's still fine with that. Look forward to... I'm aiming for Wednesdays to get the big video out. I always say a day, never deliver. Aiming for Wednesdays is what I'm going to say. Aiming for Wednesdays is what I'm going to say. Aiming for Wednesdays. So I did want to mention World of Warcraft a bit. Because I was away last week. And we did no dailies about World of Warcraft. And it's still my #1 game. Which is cool. Now, patch 5.3 is what most people are going to be asking me about. What's happening to my class, right? What's happening in my class? What's going on? Why is it changing? Why is my class changing? What's happening in 5.3? When are the 5.3 guides coming? Is the big one. When are the fucking 5.3 guides coming? Relax. 5.3, I almost came to the conclusion that 5.3 shouldn't be a major patch at all. Nothing in the patch warranted it being a point-something patch. It seemed to me like almost a bug fix update patch because it's fixing loads and loads of PvP. It's a PvP-based patch. They've now released something that is going to warrant it being a point-something patch. And by that I mean usually... the big numbers, like 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, means a major content patch. As it was, this wasn't looking like a major content patch, and they were calling it 5.3 for the sake of calling something 5.3. In between 5.4, which as we know is going to be the Garrosh raid. Spoiler alert, Garrosh has got a Shah in him. Oh no, didn't see that coming. Yeah, right. So, what they're going to release a new battleground. Right. 5.3's got a new battleground. Oh wow. For me, this is like the most underwhelming thing in the universe, right? It's like the most underwhelming thing in the universe for me personally is a fucking PvP patch with a new fucking... I don't do any of the battlegrounds anyway. Let me turn off that autofocus. I'm getting owned so hard. Whoa. Whoa. There we go. Yeah, so it's a battleground patch. Loads of PvP fixes and stuff like that. It means pretty much I'm going to update my guys so they say 5.3. There is no realistic class changes at all, so you can all relax, pretty much. The only thing is Druid's getting a slight buff to Mushrooms because nobody uses them. Which is pretty garbage. It's fucking rubbish. And Tranquility now heals 12. Garbage, they're shit. They're absolutely shit. So it's minor fucking changes. Lock Gateway nerfed by what? Is it 3 seconds? Oh, 1 second. No, it's a buff, right? It's a buff. It's not a nerf. It's a buff. 1 second. 1 second. It's a one buff. So yeah, it's a PvP patch. I don't particularly care. One of the things I've discovered doing the vanilla PvP video is that Warsong Gulch, Sharathi Basin, and AV are still the most popular ones. And AV is only unpopular because sometimes it doesn't go quick enough, which is really sad. To where it goes there. In fact, the new temple's pretty good, but I don't rate any of the BGs personally. None of them have made me want to go in repeatedly. I misspells purchasing. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Ali. Yeah, business as usual. There's not even any new dailies. It's a weak-ass fucking patch. It's very weak. I would like to discuss this. I'd like to get my ass on the PTR and bring you something. It's the Heroic Scenarios patch, which I've done to death. I would really like to see something happen here, but there's nothing much happening. In fact, if this BG wasn't being brought in, I just think it is a joke of a patch for the sake of calling things patch 5.3. That's the way it feels to me. Deepwind Gorge is the name of the new BG. I don't give a shit. Yeah, AB, easily the best, and Warsong Gulch, I think they're still pretty fucking good. Simplicity is its best, and this one looks like a combination. They're combination BGs. What is it? It's got 3 towers, like that shitty Worgen one, and the gold carts. So it's just a mix of them, which clearly works with Eye of the Storm, right? Everyone loves Eye of the Storm. Just mixing 2 fucking things together, which is crazy. Future rate, it's a good point actually. I'll finish on the future rating. What I did want to talk about now we segue into this is the bit that was important to me was both the interviews with Paragon and Method. This happened last week when I was off, and I thought it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant to see the points of views that come out there. In terms of Throne of Thunder, it's worth mentioning that it's being considered and heralded by the top guilds as the best raid instance for a long time, if not the best. Always take that with a pinch of salt. While I agree if I was still hardcore raiding, I would probably absolutely adore the Throne of Thunder. For the mid-level guys, it's not working out that way. It's really not. And it's maybe too difficult. Right? Which people are going to jump down, but it maybe is. And I say that based on actual reports. If we look at the stats, only 32 guilds, I just want to double check my numbers, only 32 guilds have managed to kill Lei Shen on Heroic. And of those 32, 19 have already killed Raden. And then the jump is huge. The jump is fucking huge. Now, it's a great instance. There's no doubt about that. It's really well designed, really well put together. The mid-level guys seem to be really struggling. And I hope that the new tier doesn't come before there. Okay? Let's keep an eye on that. So it might be a conversation for a later daily. Is when will the new 5.4 tier arrive and we don't get a chance to finish 5.3. And that'll lead us into catch-up mechanics and all that kind of stuff, all that catch-up stuff. And so it's important that we bear that in mind as a future topic. Is about the Throne of Thunder. But getting back to what I was talking about, which is the Method Paragon interviews. If this doesn't clarify it for people, I seriously want you guys to be like evangelists for this. That 10 and 25 are not the fucking same. I've been saying it for months. Okay, you guys know that. I've been saying it for months. But that's my opinion. They back it up in these interviews really clearly. And you've got Paragon who were X25 and people were saying, oh, if they were 25, it'd be the winners. They're not the fucking same. Both Method and Paragon have equally agreed. Because people wanted the war. We wanted that internal war between Paragon and Method. No other guilds were really considered. And that's just fact. They weren't. They weren't really considered to be in the race. As offensive as that might be to some guilds, they weren't considered at all. So in both interviews they say they are not even competing against each other. Not even fucking competing against each other. And they don't consider it that way. And people are really surprised by this. The people, if you go on MMO Champion where these interviews are posted, people are like, oh yeah, well, you know, the one-off forum heroes are expressing their distaste of this. That, you know, oh, they're only saying that, but Paragon would have smoked them. And then Paragon have equally come back and said, look, we are not even in the fucking race. It's not the same. It's not. We don't consider it the same. It's no point in you guys who are out there spreading things on forums and whining and fucking saying, oh, this would have happened, yeah, but if. When the guys themselves are telling you, look, we are not competing against each other. It's not the fucking same. We can't make it any simpler than that. If you don't understand why they're not the same, it doesn't matter. A lot of people argue because they don't understand something that they must be right. Right? It's like, oh, I must be correct because what your point is, I don't understand. No, look, the guys are telling you right now, they are not the fucking same. It's got to be laid to rest now. Blizzard needs to come out and express that and hopefully expand on it. I would like Blizzard to say, look, we realise they're not the same. They never could be the same. So we're going to do something about that because it's no point in us saying it's the same. It's a dead horse. When the people in those tiers are telling you it's not the same, Blizzard needs to get on board with this instead of trying to defend it. That's what I would really like to see now is Blizzard say, look, it's not the same, okay? They're as close as we can make it would be a better phrase. But not the same. They're as close as we can make it, but not the same. So now let's expand on that. Maybe we can do something different. Maybe we have some tweaks to make. Maybe we can actually do something more creative. Now we've broken this barrier that it's the same. Sticking behind a paper shield, which is, oh, all the content's the same, and everybody's telling you it's not, is actually quite detrimental to your creativity because you're always trying to build on this idea that they're exactly the same, and they never can be. So why try and stick to that? Even if it's simple as saying, look, they're as close as we can make it. That's fine, but we're a big creative force at Blizzard. Okay, they're not the same, so what can we do with it? How can we actually expand on this differential instead of trying to stand on this feather-light fucking block and preach what we're trying to say because it's not true? Constantly regurgitating the boring crap isn't going to work. What was interesting for you guys, though, is the classes that sucked. You guys want to know, does your class suck? And the classes that were stupidly powerful. If you're a Warlock right now, you are in the happiest place ever in World of Warcraft since the Burning Crusade, I want to say. The Burning Crusade was probably the last time Warlocks were as powerful right now. Are you Warlocks? How many Warlocks have we got here? A lot of fucking Warlocks. Yeah, Monks weak, unfortunately. Monks are weak. Winning, Curtywurty's winning. Curtywurty's winning. This guy, Solvex Reaper. You're in the most powerful position ever. Now, I don't bring this up to stroke your boners. I'm not bringing this up just to stroke your boners. Take advantage of this. This is why you come here. You don't need me to tell you that Method said that Warlocks are really powerful and Paragon said that Warlocks are really powerful. I'm here to tell you that if you are currently a Warlock who has some gear, you have a lot of power right now and you should fucking use it. By that I mean you can easily move very, very high, very quickly in your guild rankings. That's why you come to me. To tell you the truth. While your class is stupidly powerful and wanted by everybody under the sun, it's really a good thing to think about is, I can use this. Every guild wants more Warlocks right now. They do. Every single guild wants more Warlocks. Why, might you ask? The people spouting them Windwalkers are like, incoming Gimp, maybe. That's possible that you'll get nerfed in the next patch. Not in 5.3 as far as I can see. Not in 5.3. You're not going to get Gimp there so far. Maybe 5.4, but by then it's too late. You've already infested the rest of the guilds and you're in good guilds now. And now it's a good time to prove your worth. I'm talking to the guys who feel they are better than where you are right now. If you feel you are a better player than what raid content you're doing right now and you are a Warlock, you should be looking to move up now. This is your opportunity. It might be gone next patch. Something to bear in mind. If you miss this opportunity, that's on you. But this is the opportunity that rarely comes around. Just look what happened in the Sunwell with Shamans. We brought the worst Shamans to World 60 kills. I was getting World 60s, World 50s in the Sunwell. We recruited so many terrible fucking Shamans who all got looted up to the roof, who all got better experience and eventually became good players. Out of a lot of them, we actually kept them because overall they learnt how to play while being thrust into our environment. It's very difficult to make the transition from somewhere like World 200 to World 60. The difference is huge. Stupidly huge, the difference between playing there. So if you're ready, and you'll think you're ready, and we are coming into the final raid tier of this expansion, of Mists of Pandaria. Perhaps you're even thinking that Mists of Pandaria is your last expansion. I'm thinking that. It could happen. We'll see what happens at BlizzCon. Will Project Titan be here? Will I disappear for 2 months while playing the Friends and Family Alpha? Maybe. Maybe. But bear in mind, now is your opportunity. So if you're looking to have a good head start, cleaner raids, and that's the most important thing for me, cleaner raids. Moving up to a reasonably high guild doesn't mean you need to give up your life and soul. Doesn't mean that. That's if you're going to the world top 5, top 10, maybe. But if you're looking to just get higher and have cleaner raids, are you sick to death of your guild wiping on crap more than what they should, because the top guilds still wipe on crap, now's your time. Now's your time to do it. So that's my message to you, Warlocks. You are ridiculously powerful right now. And why? All 3 of your specs are fucking incredible. It's so rare this has happened. So rare that any class has been able to say, you know what? Every single one of my specs is amazing. All of them. I can spec anything I fucking want and win. Right? That's the situation. I can spec anything I want and I will be fucking useful to your raid. Very rare has any class been able to say that. Very, very rare. I'm struggling to even think of an example of when that was the case. Warriors, maybe. But that's including a tank spec. Okay. Which is, it's not ideal. But all 3 of your DPS specs are amazing. Really good. Yeah, let's talk about the weaker classes. This is kind of a thing. Shadow Priests, kind of saddened about that. Kind of. On the other ones that are really strong right now are Mages. I just want to point out as well. Mages. Not as powerful as Warlocks, but still really good. But yeah, the weakest classes right now are ones that were dropped from raids. Shadow Priests, which was really fucking sad. Really sad to see the Shadow Priests, because I love the Shadow Priests right now. I think it's amazing. Warriors. Yeah, Warriors. Awful. Which I kind of saw coming. I really did. Again, I blame Rage. I'd probably do an entire daily on that. I blame Rage entirely. I completely blame Rage. And Monks, Windwalker Monks specifically, which is a shame because Mistweavers and Brewmasters are outrageously powerful. We've seen many guilds actually drop their main classes or many raid guild tanks and switch over to Brewmaster. Brewmaster is awesome. Mistweaver is awesome. Windwalker, not so much. Windwalker suffers in a few things. I've only played it relatively briefly. In fact, it was on a stream a little while ago. And I already felt very uncomfortable from the style of play. It's the actual style of play that bothers me. They have the spells. Modifying the damage ain't no big deal. But the way they play, I just do not particularly enjoy. It doesn't feel as fluid as a rogue. It actually feels more clunky to me than a Ret Paladin, which is saying something. This is my personal opinion of it. They do have this ramping up period, as Lombretta's pointed out there. The ramping up period is very poor. Very poor. If you go and look at Sparkugs, I always promote him. You should check him out on YouTube. He's just released a video about how to do 600k burst openers with Demonology on his Warlock. You look at things like that, and then you look at Monks who have this ramp up time, and it just doesn't work out. The entire pull opener is based around the idea that you're going to get Bloodlust in the first 2 seconds, and Windwalkers just suck when that happens. It's just no good for them. Windwalkers and ramp up. I talked about this a while ago looking at the Windwalkers. The ramp up idea sucks. Ramping up always fucking sucks. Really sucks. And that's the be all and end all of it. The fact your damage ramps up means you instantly lose. I've talked many times about how important your opener is. And Windwalkers are naturally inhibited by that. Their pull is just not that great. And that sucks for them. And that's what needs to be changed. They can't do that. The final thing I want to talk about is Raden. Raden, I'm sure you've all seen the video now. Okay? I managed to see the video just before it came out. I saw the video, and it was everything you expected, right? The Raden video is just horrendous. That fight is just terrible. Paragon have said they're not even releasing a video. It's fucking shit. It's not worth watching. And I agree. It's boring. It's so boring. And that leads us on to the limited tries. And just linking back into this interview of both guilds saying how stupid limited tries were, and how Raden actually devalued Lei Shen, which is the sad part. That a fight, given this mystique, such as Raden did, such as Algalon had the same thing. Algalon was like this mystique, super hard mega boss. Blizzard needs to be very careful when they say things like this, because this is what happens. Because when Blizzard tells the community, not you guys who've got maybe a bit of thinking under yourself and a little bit of common sense, when Blizzard tells you we're going to have a super hard mega boss that's heroic only, drops all this super hot gear, he's amazing, How can you not suspect he is the actual last boss? How can you not think that? It's natural. Hell, everybody thought it. Why wouldn't you? That's what the people who've made the game are telling you. Is this is the last boss. And they tried to get around it this time by saying, no, he's an optional boss. Lei Shen's the end boss, but he's an optional boss. It just doesn't work that way. Just doesn't work that way. You can't have a boss that's after a boss and say, oh, he's not really the end boss. It just doesn't work that way. And then we get these unimpressive, terrible, terrible fights. Awful, awful fights. Sinestra was better. Sinestra was okay. I did Sinestra, but we killed it so much quicker than, say, Cho'Gall. So much quicker than Nefarian Heroic, who should have been the end boss. Alakir Heroic was tremendously much more difficult. Ragnaros, but we never had an end boss there. And it really devalues the last boss. Lei Shen, from everything I'm told, I did not do Lei Shen Heroic on the beta, not that it would have mattered now. It would have went under lots of changes, and I haven't done Lei Shen Heroic now. But everybody who tells me it's a glorious fucking fight that is hugely devalued by Raden and his existence. We need to remove these kind of bosses. I'm hoping, they say they're not happy with it. Stop trying to do it. Let's just stop trying to do it. If you're not happy with it and you've tried it for 3-4 times now and it doesn't work, let's not have it. Let's really just not bother with it. And it makes me sad that Lei Shen's been so devalued as an awesome fight. It really makes things sad. Sad fight. So I do want to talk about some other stuff on Thursday. On Thursday, I kind of want to mention how we're going to move forward with the next tier, considering how downplayed a lot of things are, and how 5.3 should have addressed some issues that don't exist. I'm going to go expand a little bit more on the class issues that I feel are existing in 5.2, which should be addressed in 5.3, but from what we can tell, they're not being looked at all. It's almost as if the PvE team has completely been removed from any discussion on 5.3. It's a PvP patch, and that's what we're going to talk about. I think we need to talk about which classes you're playing, which are potentially going to get buffed, potentially get nerfed. Alright guys, that's the daily for today. I'm going to take 2 minutes and grab a cup of tea, and then I'm going to start streaming some games. So thank you all for tuning in with me. I am going to be changing game. I'm going to be playing Dawn of War 2, Warhammer, and hopefully it's really good. So have a good day guys, and if you're raiding today, I hope you get some swag loots. I hope you get some kills. Alright guys, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you.